Do you fart in front of your partner? Why? Why not? Cute but kinda sad story. My grandma and grandpa were together for 40 years. My grandma never farted in front of him ever. She was diagnosed with cancer and after a good battle was sent home on hospice. The day before she passed she farted in front of him. It wasn't loud and it really stunk, but we all knew it was her. My grandpa didn't even blink and apologized to us and took the blame. It was something small, but it's been years since it happened and it still gives me that off feeling. He knew how she felt and her stance about farting in front of her partner. An embarrassed older lady visited her doctor for help with a problem. "Doctor, I don't know what's wrong, but I fart all the time. It's strange because they are both silent and odorless, but they keep coming out. In fact, I've farted about 6 times just sitting here. What can I do?" The doctor replied, "Here, take one of these pills every morning and then come see me in a week." A week later, the old lady came back to the doctor very upset. "Doctor, those pills didn't help. They made it worse. I'm still farting, but now they stink horribly." The doctor replied, "Good. Now that we've cleared your sinuses, we can work on your hearing." No. I fart behind my partner, so it sneaks up on her. Not purposely. I might have an accident every now and then. Like lifting something heavy. I mean, according to the comments in our house, it's always the dog's. But yes I do. We're married. I wasn't about to spend the rest of my life hiding a very natural bodily function. He also knows that I poop very rarely. I mean, I won't die of embarrassment, but I also won't do it out of respect for the fact that nobody else wants to smell that. The kids though, I fart on them a lot. Yes. Sometimes I do it by accident, sometimes I do it intentionally. When my partner visits, when we are in bed and we get quiet because we're trying to sleep, I'll randomly let one rip after about 10 minutes of silences and then we'll burst out laughing. If the farts don't stink, 100%. If they're peeling the paint off the walls, no. Nobody wants to exist in your stink. No, but I also try not to do it in front of anyone if I can help it. The smell isn't pleasant obviously, so I prefer to go an empty room or the bathroom so no one else has to smell it. No embarrassment factor or anything. Just don't want to subject people to a stink unnecessarily. My partner does because he can let out small, non-offensive ones where he just says, "Excuse me," and moves on. I have stomach issues, though, so it's not all cutesy for me. I'm never just going to let it out in front of him. I won't willingly in front of anyone. No, and for a really weird reason. When I was growing up, my cousins constantly farted. On each other. On me, out in public, obviously in their home. I found it so gross that I swore I'd never fart in front of anyone if I could help it. I've been married for 11 years and I think I've farted in front of my husband 3 or 4 times. I will hold in a good fart and go find my wife to present it to her. Dear Lord, no. But let me tell you about the infestation of barking spiders that follows me around. If I have to hold in my farts and be uncomfortable and be in pain, I don't need them in my life. Not at all the time, but there are times when a dry trumpet blast makes us laugh so hard our sides hurt. Then there are the tiny poker chips. All in good fun. Yes, but not too much. I did it with my ex and he started getting gross with it. Farting basically every 20 minutes we were together to get a laugh. Last time I talked to him he told me he had a fart kink now. So, glad that's over. But not going to laugh if it is too much in my maybe next relationship. Nope. Small house and lots of lactose intolerance on both sides. My daughter doesn't give a shit though. Yes. Because it's funny. I try not to. I've actually had shifting philosophy on this in recent years. Short answer, yes, I do. But I have been making more and more of an effort not to recently. We have been married for over 11 years, and in the early years, by all means. No shame, didn't care. Let her rip. Then one day a few years back I was talking to a guy who was a little older than me, and was on his second marriage, and he was giving examples of the things that he does differently now in his second marriage, and one of them was, try not to fart in front of your wife. To me this was mind-blowing. I couldn't understand why, but the more I thought about it the more it made sense. NOW, this is absolutely not always the case. Many couples have very vibrant, harmonious, sex-filled relationships despite continuing to fart all over each other. However, I believe in many relationships, once you get married, it's easy to stop doing the things you were doing early on, possibly subconsciously, to try to get your partner to want to have sex with you. One of these is often not being gross. Now I get it, farting is natural, and a good spouse will obviously know that. But I think some decent courtesy and effort to remain a gentleman goes a long way towards making many women continue to be sexually attracted to their partners. I try to walk into the other room when possible. I also try to stay in shape, be polite, and surprise her on occasion. If you stop doing all those things, you stop being the guy she wanted to fuck when she first met you. My humble opinion. Honestly, I try not to do it in front of anyone, but especially not the woman who I'm trying to bang later in the day. Everyone farts, but that doesn't mean you have to flaunt your flatulence. You know, I never used to fart in front of women. I'd go to extraordinary lengths to avoid it. There were times I remember the gas cramps in my body felt like someone hammer-fisting my intestines, and I'd still hold it with all my might and make up an excuse to leave the room. Then I met my current girlfriend. By far the sexiest, most intelligent, attractive and all-around incredible woman I've ever been with. She let a loud and disturbing fart rip post-coitus about a week into seeing each other. I felt as though I heard angels sing, and I immediately farted with vigor in response. We Dutch oven each other every other week or so. After a hangover, so much methane fills our room the average person would need a hazmat suit to even enter the house. We are two very feminine women and are not only free of gas and full of love 5 years later, but still extremely sexually attracted to each other. Fart around your partners, guys. I try not to. Appreciate the same. Nobody's mad if it happens, but after 12 years of marriage, I like the unofficial policy. The fewer stinks I need to experience, the better. Hubby seems to agree. That's just us. By all means, others can toot at each other all day and night though. I'm not judging. I don't. Apparently her ex was a real piece of shit and used to use that as a way to fuck with her, cut one in the car and lock the windows depriving her of fresh air, Dutch ovens in bed etc. Knowing that, I'm not afraid to pass gas in front of her. I just tried to be discreet and mature about it out of respect for her. She was married to that asshole for 2 decades. She's endured enough. I woke up with a case of the farts the first time he stayed over. No hiding the fact I fart after that. Been 4 years of farting now. Marrying in a month. We've been married 12 years, not much we haven't done in front of each other. P.S. We still like fucking. No. I have diarrhea. I feel like part of dating my wife is treating her company as I would any fine piece of ass I'm trying to get into. Her sense of smell has been irreparably damaged. No. I was indoctrinated to be ladylike. No burping either, lol. If we can't fart freely around each other then that's not a lasting relationship for me. Home is the one place I wanna be able to fart without fear.